Hello and welcome to Taste from a Tiny Kitchen from Money Made Magic. So today I'm going to make a crustless cheese and broccoli quiche using a broccoli that I was given by my parents that they weren't going to use, and some cheese and some oat milk that I already had in the fridge. So I'm going to do cheese and broccoli quiche. I love quiche, it's so versatile. The basic ingredients I will show you in a moment. That's obviously cheese, eggs and milk. I'll show you those in a moment, but I want to do, this is a little bit of a pre-cook for the broccoli version. So what I do is I will chop my broccoli and I will pop it into my another really good friend of mine in the kitchen, which is a steamer. I don't know if you can see that very well. Let me just zoom out a little bit so you can. There we are, that's a little bit better. My steamer is really good. I'm only going to need one tier of the steamer for this. If I'm doing a meal, I can actually put two more tiers on top of here, and it will steam a load of potatoes, a load of carrots, a load of broccoli, a load of cabbage, you know, all sorts of things. It even does meat and rice. So I love this for the kitchen. So the first thing I'm going to do with this quiche is I'm going to chop up the broccoli. I'm going to fill up my steamer, and I'm going to put this broccoli on steam, but I only want it on for about 10 to 15 minutes. I just don't want it soft. I just want it I don't want it crunchy, because I don't like crunchy vegetables. I know you're supposed to have them crunchy, but it's going to cook more with the quiche, so I don't want it too overcooked. I'm going to cook it for about 15 minutes to soften it before I put it into the quiche. So let's prepare this broccoli. Looks okay. It's probably it needs using. It's not sort of totally fresh off the shelf. It's fine. It's still green. I don't like the stalk. I get rid of that. Some people will use it. I do like the leafy bits sometimes. So I am going to cut it up quite small. Normally, if I eat broccoli, I keep big chunks, but because it's going to go in a quiche, I do want the sort of the florets cutting up a little bit smaller than I would normally do. So let's get them all off there. There's a lot of them, isn't there? Just make sure that they're all relatively small. It doesn't have to be totally chopped. Yeah, I think that'll do. And I'm going to pop that into the steamer, and that's going to steam for about 15 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the basic mix for the quiche. I'm not doing pastry with this quiche. Reasons, it's better for me not to have it with all the fat in. I do like pastry on quiche, and if I go out I will eat it. You know, if I buy it in a store, I will eat that. But when I make my own, I just make a crustless one. I just find it easier, and it means I'm having a little bit less fat in the diet. So what I'm going to do is, I usually use 6 eggs. I'm going to crack 6 eggs into this bowl, and I always pray that none of the eggs have gone off. You never know with eggs, do you? You can get, you know, sometimes you can get eggs that's got a bit of nastiness on it. I'll have to clean that one if I'm going to use it. So that's 3. 4. Fresh farm eggs, that's why they've got a little bit of dirt on them. 5. 901. 6. Lovely. Those, perfect. Absolutely lovely. I do get fresh farm eggs. I'm very lucky I get given fresh farm eggs. My parents give me them. So I'm going to sort of whisk those up to make a little batter. Just need a lot of stirring really. You just need to make sure all the egg whites and all of the yolks are blended in. And then I'm going to add, I usually add around half a pint of milk, was it 300 ml or something? And again, I guess, you know, I'm a bit naughty with that. I'm using oat milk. You can use ordinary milk, you can use any milk you want. I prefer oat milk now in everything. Just find it makes my tummy feel nicer than cow's milk for some reason. I don't know why. I don't think I'm dairy intolerant or anything. I just think I need to not have cow's milk. And then I'm going to grate the cheese. I'm using white mature cheddar from Morrison's, just basic cheese. You can use whatever you like. Most full fat cheeses cook really well. I can't speak for the low fat ones. I think they're okay if you're not sort of toasting them. If they're toasted, they tend to go a bit dry. And you can use as much or as little as you like. I just take a chunk, I don't measure again. I think when I'm in the kitchen I just like to be creative. Depends how much cheese you want in it, whether you want a really cheesy flavour or not. I don't think it really matters. So that's the cheese grated. Make sure I've got all the cheese off. And then I'm just going to put that into my egg mixture. Might put a bit more in actually, quite fancy a little bit more cheese. And remember, when you cook this is going to serve, I would say 4 to 5 servings, depending on how much quiche you want to eat. You know, sometimes I don't have anything else with it other than a bit of salad, so I have a bigger portion. If you're feeding a family, you'd feed a family of 4 with a salad and a jacket potato or something maybe from this recipe. So I'm just going to put myself a little bit more cheese in, I think. But that's for my own taste. Tell me in the comments what your favourite cheese is. I have different favourites. I think for cooking I do like strong cheddar. It does have a nice flavour. I don't like Parmesan. I don't know if anybody else likes Parmesan. I just don't like the smell of it, unfortunately. No, I won't go into that. Just don't like the smell of it. So there we are. Just a little bit extra cheese. I'm going to pop that in. And once the broccoli's cooked and cooled slightly, the broccoli will go in there as well. So I've got the egg and cheese mixture, and I've got the broccoli which is cooled slightly. It doesn't have to be freezing cold, but you just, I think, want to take the real heat out of it. And I'm just going to empty that into my egg, milk and cheese mix. And just give it a stir. It doesn't have to be perfect, just mix it in. And then the next thing I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put that into my flan dish. As again I say, I'm not doing it with pastry, I am doing it crustless. So all I'm going to do with that again is to pour that into my dish. I'm going to make sure all the cheese comes out of the dish. Sometimes if you really wanted to, you could put a bit of grated cheese on the top. Gives it a nice sort of crusty finish, but that's perfect in terms of its size for the dish. Now then, flan dishes come in different sizes, don't they? And I don't know what size that is. It's just a medium sized one. I've got two the same size actually. And I'm going to pop that in the oven. The oven is on. Warm your oven up, pop it in the oven. Mine's on about 200 centigrades. I don't know whether you have centigrades or Fahrenheit, or whether you have gas marks or whatever. People have different things. Mine's an electric oven, sorry, and it goes on at about 200 preheated. You can put that in the top or the middle of the oven, it doesn't really matter which, depends on if you've got anything else going in with it. I may be putting something else in with it. I might put some crumble in with that, I don't know yet. Obviously not in the same dish, but just to make use of not using the oven too much, to keep the costs down. So I'm going to pop that into the oven, and we're going to cook that for about 40 minutes. And it wants to be nice and sort of firm to the touch when it's done, and a little bit browned on the top. So we'll pop that into the oven. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to move the camera. You probably won't see that angle very well. Well, you might see me popping that in the oven there. Not a great angle, but again, we are working in the world's tiniest kitchen, so bear with me while I do this. I'm doing this without oven gloves. Please don't do this without oven gloves. Please have oven gloves. When I take it out, I will have oven gloves, obviously. I'm going to pop that onto the middle shelf because I've got I need something to be removed from there, but the grill's gone in there. I'm sliding that into my middle shelf, and there we are. So here's our quiche, just cooled slightly, just enough for me to be able to show you what it's like on the inside. So tempted to eat it. So I'm just going to remove a slice so you can see what that's like. Hopefully it won't all fall to bits. Sometimes they do. There we go. A lovely cheese and broccoli quiche. So I hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully you will find this nice helpful recipe. It's ever so cheap to make. If you get a broccoli like me, or I did get one on the Too Good To Go app once. This one was a free one for my mum. You can get them quite cheaply. Cheese, obviously, I think it's a £2.77 for that block of cheese that I used, and I only used maybe a fifth of it or whatever, so 50p or so for the cheese, the milk and the eggs. I got my eggs, I got given my eggs as well. I'm really lucky on it. Eggs aren't very cheap, are they really? But it does make a really good meal. You can see how many servings you would get there with a salad. And maybe it's a jack of potato. So if you make it, please enjoy and let me know in the comments. So I hope you've enjoyed that little episode of Taste from a Tiny Kitchen. If you like what we do on this channel, please give us a like and a subscribe. That always helps us, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.